Hey loves, welcome back. So today we're going to be testing a makeup sponge that has some really impressive bold claims. This little guy is the Supersponge, and it claims to be the world's first makeup sponge that doesn't absorb any makeup, therefore saving you up to 4 times the amount of product. Sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it? So this limits germs, stays clean, and it's a revolutionary silicone infused sponge. I'm going to put it to the test because those claims massively appeal to me. You know me, I love all the products, I love all the things, and I get through a lot of product, but it would be nice to not waste makeup unnecessarily. You all know I'm a die-hard hardcore fan of the Beauty Blender. I have been using the Beauty Blenders for years now. I also really like the Eco Sponge, but is it called an Eco Sponge? I'll put the information in the description box. But this one I've had I need to wash it clearly, but I've had it barely any time at all, and it now has a mouth. So this was sent to me, by the way. This isn't sponsored, and I had absolutely zero obligation to talk about it or do anything. But you know, if you're here, if you're a returning subscriber, I know you're into skincare and makeup, 40 plus. We're all about using good quality products, getting a nice finish on our foundation that isn't cakey and looks too much like makeup. So this could be good, right? So it comes in this little plastic case, and on the bottom there's like this little rubber stand. You can use it as a stand, but it also has some knobbly bits inside, and you use that to clean it. This has some directions that you have to follow, otherwise the sponge isn't going to work. And there are multiple ways that you can get that information. It came with an information leafletter. It came with a QR code. Is it called a QR code? My brain is so, hold on guys, we need Side note, if you've got an espresso machine, they've just released their limited edition pumpkin spice cake. Just get some, you'll thank me. I bought 7 sleeves. I had it last year and then it sold out, and I was very sad. Anyway, there are multiple ways that you can get the correct information. This leaflet, QR code, you know, on Instagram, when you order, they email you. Like, you can't miss the directions, thankfully, because if anyone's going to miss anything, it would be me, and I haven't. I've picked up on it because the sponge is, I've already run it under water so I can insert that little clip for you. The bottom of it feels just like, I don't want to say just like a regular sponge, but pretty much just like a regular spongy beauty blend, you know, beauty sponge. But the rest of it is coated, and it does feel slightly rubbery. It has a silicone coat to it. So you run the water through the bottom of the sponge multiple times, and then you turn it over and you squeeze it out. If you squeeze it out this way around, you run the risk of potentially popping the silicone seal, I guess. So you do that, and I did that for at least 90 seconds the first time, and now it feels really squidgy and soft, and the outside definitely feels firm, and you can feel the coating to it. The other thing is that you have to wash it after every use, which is fine, and actually that's a really good habit to get into. There was a stage where I was doing that with my beauty blenders, and it was so nice to just have to dampen your sponge down and have a clean sponge every time. Clearly didn't stick to that, but you have to wash it. And even though it comes in this beautiful tin, not a tin, plastic container, you mustn't, whilst it's damp, put it in here and lock it away, because obviously the silicone coat means that it's going to take significantly longer to dry than this, and you run the risk of growing bacteria, which is why you want to wash it every time, because of that seal. It's going to be a beautiful breeding ground. But that's okay. If this saves 4 times the amount of makeup, washing it after every use, you know, that's going to take barely any time at all. We'll try it later as well. We'll see how clean it gets. So right, what I figured we'd do is we'd do a halfie. I've done my skincare SPF always, and my primer, and then I figured we would just go in and do half with this and half with this. The other thing they sent me actually, which is quite cute, is this. It's called a Blendish, and it's like a little palette ring. Normally with my foundation I squirt it on the back, to the back of my hand, use a baby wipe when I'm done and wipe it off, or a makeup wipe. That's the only place you'll ever see me use a makeup wipe. So this is kind of cute, so I'm going to attempt to use this as well so that we can keep it fair. Foundation wise, I think, let's give this a shake. I think we'll stick with one that I've been using lots, that I know is more of a full coverage foundation that is fantastic. It's the True Skin Hydrating Foundation. I can't remember if I've got a full review video on this or not, or I've spoken about this plenty of times. If I have, maybe I should have done one. I'm sure I have. I don't know. If I have, or the video it's in, I'll link it in the description. So I figured to keep it fair, we'll do one pump on here, one wipe it, one pump on here, compare and contrast. Yeah, great. Right, we'll start with the Supersponge. I love the colour of this actually. Right, so I'm going. This is very thought through and planned, this video. I'm gonna go one squirt and try not to get it down me. So that's one pump of the Catrice Foundation. So this is primed, prepped, ready to go. Let's see, so you can actually see it. Oh, I like this. I take it back. When I first got it, I was like, I think it's one of those things like the Now Vanish ring holder. I've got one, used it for like 10 minutes, never used it again. But actually, obviously it's designed to fit the spot. Oh, it's quite clever. Right, dip. Okay, here we go. It feels nice, or I'm getting really quite full coverage. That one squirt of foundation really is going quite far. It feels nice actually. It doesn't feel like a sponge. The other thing the instructions said is that if you, obviously because your makeup, I'm getting it in my hair, never mind, because your makeup is going to go further, you need less product. If you apply it and you feel like it's too full coverage, you can use this little traditional sponge end to shear it out, but I'm not going to do that for now. I'm just going to try and apply this whole pump to this side of my face. Okay, that's full coverage. It's a really great foundation. It's like £7. So good. So I'd say that is pretty much that one pump. There's a little bit left there. And it has sunken, it has, oh, I'm gonna knock my coffee over. It has gone into the sponge slightly. And that has given me, I need my mirror. That has given me extreme full coverage. It's smooth, it's blended really nice. It feels good. Wow, okay. I'm gonna pop him down. So organised. I'm gonna get the Primark makeup wipe, which I use for cleaning and swatch removal. I'm gonna wipe my palette so this is completely fair. And we're gonna go in with the Beauty Blender and the exact same amount of foundation. So one pump, exact same, good old Beauty Blender. I mean, already I'm laughing to myself because that's one pump. I almost feel like I don't need to continue. Oh my god. Right, let's try and do a full face with that one pump and the Beauty Blender. Yeah, that's not going to happen. I have got some coverage. That one pump has covered my face pretty much, but I've got a much lighter coverage. Now listen, I know what you're thinking. I prefer this side. It's more natural, it's more skin-like. This looks so heavy and thick and cakey. And I would absolutely agree with you, and I wouldn't wear my foundation like this. However, I would now know that I need one pump probably for my entire face rather than 2, 3, 4. I would say normally I would do a good 2.5, 3 pumps. I think one pump, looking at this, if I was to do that one pump and apply the foundation to all of my face at the same time, I'm going to get the kind of coverage that I like. where it's taken away all the kind of redness, discoloration, you know, hidden most of my imperfections, and I've saved half the amount of makeup, double the amount of makeup, you know what I'm saying. So there's one pump with the sponge here, exactly the same amount of product. That's given me a really nice, it's a beautiful foundation, isn't it? It's given me a really nice, still I'd say medium to full coverage. Oh, I've got a spot there, God. I'd say medium to full coverage, really nice finish. This has given me full shebang, full extreme, heavy coverage, and it is settling into my pores a little bit. I'm really, really impressed because this has given me such full coverage from one pump versus this. Oh, I need to even it out. So I'm going to take the super sponge, I'm going to take the normal sponge end. Oh, that feels nice. And I'm just going to go over. Actually, I feel like I've made a mistake. Is this my fault? It's not doing the best of reducing it, but basically because I've let the makeup set down and dry. So if you're going to do that, we need to, like, we're working this through together, you know. I've not tried this, put it through the test, because if I had, I'd be like, hey, this is exactly how you need to use it. But we've got to try these things together. If you're going to soften the coverage, lessen the coverage with this end, then you absolutely need to do that if you've got a kind of foundation that sets first. I'm really, really impressed. The claims of it saving up to 4 times the amount of product actually probably is true. I know that saved me a hell of a lot of product, so meaning that my foundation is going to last 2 to 3 times longer. Should we try it with concealer? Let me just fix this up so it matches and it's even, and then we'll try with a little bit of concealer. Okay, concealer wise, I'm going to take the Hourglass, well, that one. Oh, I'm going to use less product. No, I'll tell you what, I'm going to put the same amount as I would, and we'll do the same test, shall we? I'm going to turn it to the cleaner side. Wow, it definitely saves product. And here's the thing, I've used, and if you're a makeup fan, I'm sure you would have tried one as well. Do you remember a few years ago there was like a trend for just like a silicone sponge, and it was just made of like a big clear piece of silicone? I used that for about 10 seconds and absolutely hated it. It didn't do anything apart from just smear product around my face. I just thought that was so gimmicky and just absolutely horrendous. I was not a fan. So the fear of this being coated in silicone, I did think of that for a second, and I was like, oh, we've not had a good experience with silicone before, but this is blending like a traditional beauty sponge, but just providing so much more coverage. Right, we'll do the same, so I won't kind of dot, 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 dot. Beauty blender, clean side. Yeah, I mean, obviously the beauty blender is going to absorb product, and that does serve a purpose. I'm really happy that the super sponge has that naked bottom so that you can go in and soften things. You can see the coverage difference. I mean, they're both covered really well, but this one is intense. Like, that for me is a little bit too much concealer, and I know that that's going to crease on me because there's too much product, especially for my age. So I know that when I'm using the super sponge, that I can use, again, half the amount of product. And this was expensive. What I'm going to do is I'm going to finish up my face, and then we'll go into my bathroom and we'll give this a little wash. The other thing this says is not to use a liquid soap and to use a bar of soap. So I'll dig out a bar of soap. We'll give this a little wash to see how easy it is to clean, and then we'll come back for a little roundup. Okay, makeup is done. I've already washed the super sponge, and I was pleasantly surprised. It washed, actually, I would say it washed really, really easy. And I think that's the thing. If you get into the habit of washing your sponge or super sponge every time you use it, then it's not going to take 5-10 minutes of scrubbing, and it's not going to get to the point where it's staying, because you're continuously keeping it clean, which I really enjoy. Like, that's no big deal for me. You know, I think 30 seconds and you're done, and then all I need to do when I use it next is just to run it under the water, kind of do the, you know, do the prepping, and I've got a clean sponge to use. I don't think I mentioned the price, actually. I've checked, this is version 2, so they've obviously developed from version 1. Comes in 3 colours, it's £16, so it's, up there in price. It's on par with the, you know, the popular makeup sponges and stuff. And I know it does seem like a lot because you can pick up much cheaper sponges. However, the fact that I can invest in this and I'm going to use half the amount of my Hourglass concealer, which was significantly more expensive, on my foundation, that absolutely makes it worthwhile. Will I use this again? 100%. Honestly, I love a beauty blender and they are fantastic, and you know, I will continue to use it, but this is gonna stay up here and has a firm place because I love the coverage, I love how it felt, and I love that it gave me full extreme coverage with the same amount of product. Or, you know, if I want to have lesser coverage, more natural look, then I can use a quarter of or a third or half of the amount of product I would normally to achieve the same look with a sponge. Like I said before, to dry it, it would be very tempting to pop it back into this because it's a really nice storage case, but you mustn't. You've got to let this dry, which is fine. So I'm going to balance him here on the little stand, put it literally up front and center, and I'll be using that next time. This little guy, the Blendish, I think this is £8. I think this was £8. Again, I'll put all the information below. Will I use it? I think if I remember to use it, I will. I like the shape of it. It was really convenient. It's a great way to mix foundations. Often you've seen me mix foundations a million times. I like that. I think it would make a really nice stocking filler. They also do, and I haven't got it, they do, I use just like a normal bar of soap, like a skin bar of soap. I don't know why I'm pointing over there because it's not there, it's in there. But they do like a twist up cleanser bar for it as well. So I think that, like, if you're looking for unique different gifts, especially for Christmas, a super sponge with the matching soap, that, I mean, I would die if someone got me that. Anyway, thank you so much for Supersponge for sending me this. I am really impressed. Like I said, this isn't sponsored. I had zero obligation to even post about it, talk about it, and I love it. I honestly, genuinely love it. And it's absolutely something I'll be using, especially I think when I want to do full glam, full shebang. I want to make sure that everything is on there and covered and perfect. I'm going to be reaching for the super sponge. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We're slowly growing here, so I really appreciate your support. So hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up button, ring the notification bell, do all of the things. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll speak to you really soon. Take care.